Hello again, it's Patti Behan here, and thank you for joining me today. I'm going to show you how to make this cute birthday card that is full of texture and sparkle and really easy to make. We're going to use some distressed white heavy stock, some oxide pads and spray, and archival inks and texture paste, so let's get started. Start, we're going to be using this distressed white heavy stock. Since we're going to be using texture paste, this is a great surface to use. It's 130 pound paper and it's 8.5 by 11 inches. So what we'll need to do is cut one piece to 6 inches by 11.5, leaving the whole length of the page here. And then you'll need 3 pieces cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stamp the images on some of these papers. I'm using the cupcake stamp from that die set and jet black archival ink. And on this piece you're going to stamp in the middle. And then on the other 2 pieces here, you're going to stamp like so, and you're going to leave about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom because we're going to put a stamp on the bottom there too. Okay, so once we have that, then we are going to die cut the full cupcake, and that's going to be used as our mask. And then we won't need this anymore, so then you can put away the stencil part. Save that for another use. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to take one of these images and we're going to die cut the cupcake liner and the candle. So I'll place the liner die on top and the candle die and run that through the die cutting machine. Okay, so once that's done, we're going to save those pieces, and now we're going to come to this other piece and we're going to cut out the frosting. This is going to be the stencil for our texture paste, and you can go ahead and put that aside. We won't be needing that. Let's put the die cut machine away and let's start coloring some things. So first we're going to take our full image here and we're going to place our mask that we made right on top of the cupcake so that we can color on the outside without getting on the cupcake. And I'm working on the Wendy Vecchi Make Art Station and my silicone mat here. I'm putting the magnet on there to hold down the mask, and then now we're going to start to color in. First, I'm going to use Distress Oxide in Mustard Seed, and I'm using our new dome foams to do the inking. These are a great new tool that you get a lot more control when you're blending your inks. So go ahead and do the yellow mustard seed around the inside, and then we're going to come in with some picked raspberry. And we're going to do the edges, and you go ahead and color it until it is blended. Go back and put some more yellow if you need to, and just keep doing it until you get the look you like. I'm adding some more picked raspberry. Okay, now let's go ahead and color in the liner. So for this, I'm going to use some Salty Ocean. And first I'm going to color in the whole liner with that. And now, just to give it a little more depth and dimension, I'm going to do some coloring. So I'm swiping the Salty Ocean and Mustard Seed onto my silicone mat, and I like using this for painting with ink pads because you can see the colors. And I'm using a water brush filled with water, and I'm going to color in every other stripe. Like so. And this is what it looks like. And now I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit of light with the mustard seed to the cupcake liner. Just gives it a little dimension, and so it's not so flat looking. So just so it's like so. I'm going to go back in with the Salty Ocean and finish my candle here. And just go color in those other stripes. Like that. Now here comes the fun part. We're going to go ahead and grab our stencil that we made and add the texture paste. So I realized that I forgot to cut out the flame, so let's just do that now. And I'll put the dye on there, and I cut that out so you can see that right there. Okay, now we can remove the mask, and let's get all this out of the way. And go ahead and match up the stencil and use your magnets to hold it down. This is the matte texture paste. It also comes in crackle, and then there's some grit paste too that comes in opaque and translucent. So it's lots of fun to play around with this. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a palette knife, and I'm using the back of the palette knife, and I'm just gonna grab some, I don't know, it's about a dime size, and I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it to the card, and no need to worry about making a mess because we have a stencil. And also I want to try to get some texture in there. I'm making it a little thick, and then I'm going to put some swirls, and then I'm going to go ahead and get the flame. Okay, so once that's done, we're going to go ahead and colorize this, and you don't have to wait for it to dry. We're going to use some Kitsch Flamingo Oxide Spray, and you want to make sure you shake it up to see that the pigment is thoroughly mixed into the rest of the spray. And then once that's done, we want to mask off that flame, and then just go ahead and spray it. And that's it. You're all done. You don't have to mix up a whole batch of pink texture paste. You just spray it on there and you're done. Okay, and now while that's still wet, we're going to take some distressed glitter in clear rock candy, and we're going to sprinkle some on top of the frosting using a palette knife again and the candle. And you're going to shake off the excess, and there you have it. Whatever didn't come off will stick to the card as it dries. So next thing we're going to do is get this out of the way, and then I'm going to take a heat tool to speed up the drying process. And just so you know, the heat tool will cause the texture paste to puff a little bit, but that's okay. For this look, we kind of want it to puff up. So now I'm going to put the candlestick down here and start to put this together. I'm using some Wendy Vecchi Make Art Perfect Adhesive, and put that down right there. And then next we're going to do the liner, and just to give it some more dimension, we're going to fold it accordion style. So first you want to follow the lines that are already on the liner and just go back and forth, making mountain and valley folds. Okay. And then once you have that done, kind of spread it out again, And then what we're going to do here is we're going to glue the ends down with wet glue. And we're going to put some across the top a little bit. And now we're going to take some glitterate clear foam adhesive, and we're going to use that to put in between the folds so that it has some raised portions of the liner. So we'll just put a few pieces just like so, and go ahead and stick that down. Okay, so now you can see that it looks like the icing is kind of going over the liner, and you have that nice sort of 3D look to it. So next what we're going to do is we're going to make that birthday word pop up a little bit by coloring it in and cutting it out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some picked raspberry ink here. Just color that in quickly. And then I'm going to cut it out right inside the line. Okay, so it looks like that. And then next thing I'm going to do is take this clear foam adhesive and put it on the back and just pop it up like so. Okay, now you can see that it balances things out a bit. The next thing we have to do is we have to color in our flame. So to do that, I'm going to go ahead and take my mustard seed ink again, and I'm going to use the water brush to color that. And I think it needs a little more color. I'm going to use Festive Berries. This will give the flame a little more life. It's always darker in the middle of the flame. And now next what we're going to do, our frosting is looking a little flat over here, so I want to put some ink onto the high points. So what I'm going to do is take some picked raspberry distressing now because it's a little darker, and I'm going to go ahead and put some on my silicone mat, and I'm just going to add little touches of the darker color on the raised edges just to make it pop a little more so that you can tell that it has ridges in it, just like so. Look how sparkly that is. That looks yummy that you could eat it right now. Okay, so now I am going to stamp Happy Birthday down at the bottom. Remember, we had to leave extra room, and for that I'm going to use some jet black archival ink. Ink it up and just stamp it right below, like so. And now we're going to put it together by using some glitterate double stick tape. And I'm going to go ahead and just cut my pieces first. And I'm going to put it on all four sides and remove the liner paper. And once I do that, I'm going to stick it down, and then that's it. So I hope you give these techniques a try. Remember that you can colorize texture paste while it's wet by using some ink sprays or oxide sprays like I did in this project, or you can paint on it once it's dry. No need to mix up a whole batch of texture paste and colorize it. And if you'd like to give this a try, there is a full supply list in the description box below. Thanks again for joining me today, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more crafty videos.